Hi there folks, Joel Self, Outdoor Instructor here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, and after a long time of doing just almost exclusively Land Rover content, we're suddenly presenting you with a little bit more ropework stuff. So I was asked this question the other day and couldn't help but make a video about it. We're going to be talking about breaking into a tight line. So here we've got let's say a SRT set up in a cave, single line down the pitch, not re-belayed or anything further down, just a straight old drop. We need to break into this line to either bring up a casualty or somebody who's maybe just a bit fatigued and get them to the pitch head so that we can give them some help and then carry on with our trip. We're going to use a couple of quite fancy but fairly commonly used bits of equipment. There are other ways of doing this and other tools you could use. This is just a brief selection that you might be likely to carry along on your trips with you. So we're going to first start off with a sling and carabiner. This is so that we can create a second anchor point and drop things down lower than our knot. Crucially, we need some space to work in, and that means getting our anchor below that line. We store that out of the way for a moment. Now, some people may not like this. However, if we've got a single person load suspended across these 2 points, and it's a static load, they're not bouncing around, they're not moving on the line, they are just hanging in space. I'm not going to quibble about opening that up, dropping in our sling and closing it back up. Of course, there are times where that wouldn't be maybe appropriate, but for this I'm not going to have any issue with doing it. We kept the zone termination up out of the way, and very simply just going to put a knot down in here just so that we've lowered our anchor point, and go for an overhand so we get the maximum length out of our sling, dropping our new anchor nice and low compared to the knot on the old one. The more room we leave to work, the better. We'll pop our spare carabiner on the bottom end of that, and there we go. Created loads of space because anything we clip on is obviously going to hang from that carabiner nice and low compared to where the knot originally sat. Next bit of kit then is our micro traction. This is going to serve as our progress capture for the system. So we'll open that up, teeth obviously towards the anchor and away from the load. We'll install that onto the line, clip it through our carabiner, and just be sure to click the button and let the teeth engage on the rope. If there's any way we can seat that further down and get it engaged, brilliant. We'll take our roll clip and T-block next. We're going to be installing this to create a pulley system to pull something up towards our progress capture. So I'll put T-block on, pointing down towards our load, and we're going to put the roll clip on to that. Next up, final bit of kit now, we're going to use a foot loop. You could use a sling for this as well, it would do the same job. All I'm going to do is clip that into, let's just get that untangled. There we go. We're going to clip that in just above our micro traction there. There we go. If you want to use a screw gate carabiner, that's totally fine and up to you. Just depends what you're carrying with you, I suppose. We'll take the foot loop down through the roll clip, and what this has created for us is a little pulley system. We've got that we can move down, and then simply we would pull up on the foot loop to start creating some slack up on the top side of our micro traction. I'll show you that properly in a moment. Just as a heads up, if you're caving and using a croll, for example, you could always run this line back up through itself, clip your croll on to the foot loop, and that way you can use a bit of leg power to pull this through rather than using your arms. Anyway, for now though, we'll start pulling our line up on here. There we go, and we can see the slack starting to be generated above the micro traction. Once we've got adequate slack in there, I've got a very short system here before my load, but if we were to take our foot loop out, stow that off to one side, we can always then relocate the T-block, and we'll put our rope through the roll clip. So we've just got enough space there. And what you'll see there now is that we've got a traditional 3-to-1. It's collapsing quite quickly because of the space we've got here, but that would allow you to then continue to haul your load up. And obviously my load is sitting just right there, but if your casualty was a long way down the pitch, you'd have that rope available to you to keep on hauling through And as we said before, once you've got enough there, if you wanted to clip it through an anchor or run it through so that you could use your croll pulling down on the line, excellent. Do make use of things like that. There we go, breaking into a tight line. Nice and easy, used a couple of commonly carried bits of kit, hopefully things that you might carry yourself or now consider carrying yourself. Yeah, hope you found it helpful. I've been Joel Self-Outdooring Instructor. Thanks for watching today's video. Bye-bye.